You've identified both parts. There's 2 parts for each answer. Okay, just make sure. No, you did not identify both parts.
Yes, I did.
Nope, because it says, what's the slope, and then where do you see it in the equation? And then what's the y, like where on the y-axis, and then where do you see that in the equation?
Let's see.
Mm-hmm.
Right on the bathroom.
Hurry up. All right, so clearly we are lost in the sauce, and it's been 5 days since we said the word slope, so therefore we have forgotten everything. So let's go over this together. Finding the slope of the graph. So let's look at that first. Slope. How do we find slope using a graph? If you're not going to use the equation, how do you find it using the graph? Rise over run. So you're going to go, and we can start with 2. Ooh, let's start with 2. So you're going to go 2, and then you're going to go to where it meets a corner of 2 sides. So it meets the corner right here. So my run is 2, and my rise, if you notice, this goes up by what? What is the side of your graph increase by? 2. So it's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. So it's going to be 12. So technically, my rise over run is 12 over 2. 12 over 2 becomes what? Becomes 6. So our slope is 6. Where in our equation is 6? So we're looking at this equation of y equals 6x plus 2. So where is our slope in our equation? It's the what? It's not the y. It's not the y at all. Don't call out. Listen to my question. What is the 6 in our equation? So you have to think about vocabulary that you have talked about, we have talked about, been talked about before you joined me. Think about the vocabulary, the names of each part of that equation. What do you think, Brayden?
Coefficient.
Yes. 6 is the coefficient to the variable. So 6 is right here, which is connected to our x. Okay? So now, answering letter A, what about B? What value does a graph touch on the y-axis? So looking at our y-axis, where does the line touch? Where does the line touch? Only one person sees it? Where does the line touch the y-axis? So this is our y-axis. Where's the only place that the line touches? Jeffrey? At 2. So 2 is where the line touches. And where do we see that in our equation? What is that 2 called right here? What is our 2 called? Vocabulary. Again, what is that number called when it's all by itself? There's nothing connected to it. You're not doing anything with it. Cam? Yes. So what this whole thing is trying to let you know, that essentially the slope is always your coefficient. So it's always the number connected to your x. And your y-intercept is always going to be the constant. Okay, so that's essentially what this warm-up is, just kind of trying to get you guys to think about. All right, so let's review y-intercept form. So it says slope-intercept form, or what's our equation that we always refer back to, right in?
Y equals mx plus b.
All right, is one way to write the equation of a linear relationship. The y-intercept of a graph is the value of y, where the line crosses the y-axis or when x equals 0. So the m, is it our slope or is it our y-intercept? In our equation, the m is what?
Our slope.
Slope. And then our b, is that our y-intercept or is that our slope? There's only one option.
Y-intercept.
Thank you. All right, so number 1. It says, use the given information to write an equation of the line in slope-intercept form. So it gives us our slope of -9, and it gives us our y-intercept of 2. For the first one, all you have to do is plug in these two numbers. So does -9 go first, or does 2 go first? -9. And then, obviously, the +2. The next one, I want you guys to write the equation and then stand up when you're done. So write the equation, stand up when you're done for number 2. All right, Ellie, what does your equation look like?
Y equals 14.
Not plus -10, it would just be just -10, -10. Okay? I mean, you can put the plus, but it's ultimately just that you're still subtracting. Okay? All right, number 3, it says a line has a slope of -5 and passes through the origin. So if it passes through the origin, does it have a y-axis? No. Technically, the y-axis is 0, so you don't have to put that in. So it just becomes y equals -5x. Okay? Questions about those 3? All right, number 4. It says complete the table below by recording the slope, the y-intercept, and a sketch of each linear equation's graph. Now, the equation, like the graph, is not going to be perfect. Just kind of get it in the general vicinity. So looking at the first one, y equals x minus 5. So what is our slope? What number is connected to that variable? What number is connected to the variable right here? Nevaeh. What is our y-intercept? What is our y-intercept? Jeffrey?
-5.
Okay. So with that, we know our slope is going to be positive, and it's going to go through somewhere down here in the negative. So again, your line does not have to be perfect. It just has to be, first of all, the right positive, negative, undefined or 0. And it's got to, when it crosses that y-axis, excuse me, it's got to be in the general area. All right. You and your group members are doing the second and the third ones together. Stand up when you're done.
This one's going to go through the origin and then so on through. So it's going to increase. Then this one is go through the negative quadrant, but it still has positive. No. It's negative. It's going to be negative because it's negative slope. So it's going to be. Yes, this one. Mine's curved a little bit from mine. What side of? Mine's like, it doesn't. Zigzag.
Where does it cross the line?
You said 7.
All right, let's go ahead and go over these. So looking at the next one, y equals 3x. What is our slope? Ellie. All right, what is our y-intercept? Nico.
0.
All right, so when I draw my line, Nico, where do I need to make sure it goes?
Through the origin.
All right, and make sure that it is in a positive direction. All right, the next one, y equals negative 5x plus 7. Okay, so with this one, is my graph going to be going from left to right or from right to left?
Right to left.
Right to left, because it's a negative, right? Because our slope is negative 5. So left to right, right? Left to right?
Right to left. Well, it's left to
Okay, for the 84th time, left to right, because it's a negative 5. Left.
To left. No.
Anyways, we're not going to talk about.
Left to left.
No, baby, it's not a positive line.
Who's that?
Oh, it's left to right now.
It's left to right.
It's up to down.
Okay, it's down or it's up to down. We'll do it that way. Up to down? Okay.
That's what.
You don't know your right from left. Jesus, take the wheel. All right. Now, what we do have to be careful about this one is our line going to go above the x-axis or below it? It is above because it's a positive 7. Okay? So just because our slope is negative does not mean where we intersect our y-axis is negative. All right, please make sure that you guys have this correct. All right, slide over to number 5. All right, so for these, you're going to look at the graph, you're going to record the slope, the y-intercept, and write your equation. So what is our slope here? It's not just 3. So our rise is 1, our run is 3, which makes it 1/3. It is not 3. So please be careful with that. Remember, rise over run. If you cannot stop looking at your boyfriend like that, I'm gonna have to make you move. Stop.
Like this.
So weird. All right, and then where does it
Oh, my
intersect?
boyfriend.
Where does it intersect our y-axis?
Okay, so we're in college.
Ariana.
3.
3. So when I apply all of this, when I write my equation, it's y equals 1/3 x plus 3. You guys are doing 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 on your own. If you need help, please raise your hand when you're working through these. If you do not need help, that is fine. Stand up when you are done. Please do not talk. Guys, be very careful of your graphs and your numbers. You still have a lot to do. Yeah, so it would be y equals 14. Like I said, it was, but just check it. Check it.
It's going down, so it's
I
negative.
just say, well, that's why it's probably be 9. Just check Got another minute and then we're gonna go over this. Me too, bro.
Have you ever had this cell
Who?
Cell?
As myself? I don't think so. I know that she said for Drake last year.
I don't like her.
Why? Because she makes y'all do something? Yeah.
She does it. She does the opposite.
Exactly. She just rude.
She just don't take me to hear all junk. Alright, let's go ahead and go over these. Put me out of my misery, because this is bad. Alright, the next one. Number 6. What is my slope? So what is my slope? Audrey. So it's -2, and it's a rise, or technically it's a rise of -2 and a run of 3. So you have -2/3. What is my y-intercept? Where does it intercept the y-axis? Ariana. Okay, so when I plug all, stop, please, gentlemen. I'm not going to ask again. What is my equation? So even if you got the equation wrong on your paper with the correct information on my paper, you should still be able to put it all together. Cam.
Y equals -2/3x plus 2.
Perfect. All right, the next one. How many of you guys put your slope as 1/4? Okay, why is 1/4 not correct?
Because you have to simplify it.
No, it's simplified. Remember I said be very careful of these graphs, right?
Because you add 3.
Well, because it's increasing by 3, right? So instead of it being, was it 1/4, it's actually 3/4. So your rise is 3/4.
Oh, the numbers on the side.
Yeah, so you have to be careful with those. So the numbers on the side are increasing by 3s. Look, it goes 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. You have to be careful. Okay? What is my y-intercept? It's my y-intercept. Raiden. No. What is my y-intercept, guys? Where does it cross the y-axis? Ben? 18. All right, so then what is my equation? What is my equation? Jeffrey?
Y equals 3/4x plus 18.
Okay. The next one. Now, this one is very interesting. Because, again, if you're not careful and you're not looking at these numbers on the side, you're going to get this one wrong. What is your slope? We know it's a negative, right? So everybody should have a negative. So it should definitely be negative. But then, again, you have to be very careful. So what's our slope?
-180.
Nope, that's technically,
Oh, the slope.
yeah, what's our slope?
-20.
Nope.
Oh,
All right, so I'm going to use this line right here. I'm going to use this line over here. So the bottom, the numbers are increasing by what? Increasing by 1, so I know that my run is going to be 2. My y, though, it's increasing by what? 20. So it's not 3, it's actually -60. So you end up with -60/2, which gives you what? -30. So now do you know why you were wrong? Do you know where you were wrong now?
Yeah, I know I'm wrong.
Okay.
I got the thing on.
So guys, please make sure that you have this written down because you are possibly going to see graphs again that have different numbers than just increasing by 1 on the y-axis. So this becomes y equals negative 30x plus 180. The next one, what is my slope? Audrey?
0.
0. Does not increase or decrease or rise over run or nothing. What is my y-intercept? 14. So my equation is y equals 14. All right, the last one. What is my slope? What's my slope? Sebastian?
0. 14. The slope is 1/2.
So it's increasing by 1, running by 2. So you have half as my slope. What is my y-intercept?
-8.
-8. So then what is my equation?
Y equals 1/2 x minus 8.
Half x minus 8. Yes. Not 1/2. There's not a 1 in front of it, right? All right. So questions about your graphs?
The last one. Doesn't it go by 2 though on the side? No, it doesn't go by.
I mean, it does. And it goes by 2 on the top as well. My fault. So it should be 2/4, which gives you 1/2. Sorry. That was my fault. On my notes, I just went straight to the 1/2. You're correct, though. Yes. So she is correct. It should be 2 to 4. I just simplified. Sorry. All right. Questions about writing your slope, or sorry, finding your slope, finding your y-intercept, or writing your equation from a graph. Okay, this is going to be a big thing on your next test. This is also going to be a big thing on your next check-in, which is going to be like 1,000 years from now. We'll probably forget it, but
We have a slope test again.
yeah, on the 15th. Like, it's the rest of everything. Yes.
I'm not gonna be
When?
the 13th and the 15th.
Okay, we'll talk about that later. Okay. All right, we're not going to do 11 and 12. I feel like we're good for that. Please go ahead, glue this into your notebook, and then slide your notebook to the right and copy down the title of Homework 9/27.
You never let anybody get water. What if I hurt you though?
You'll be fine. Just don't talk. Why don't you bring, like, don't you have basketball practice?
Well, I drink out of water faucet.
The water faucet?
Yeah.
You like just turn on? All right. Shh. Please annotate. Show your work. All of the above. This is your homework for today. Once you get it finished, do not turn it in. Save it till tomorrow. I have a hard enough time keeping track of everything else. And then you can get started on the extra credit if you want, or you can find something to do quietly when you are finished.